Prospecting, prospecting, and prospecting once again. What's up, 23% Nation? Coach D is back. Now, guys, I'm a little sad tonight. Why? Because this is the last video for this video series. So without any further ado, let's now jump into key number 10. Why? Because we're talking about the 10 keys to staying motivated for peak performance. And let's definitely not forget Mr. Delatorro L McNeal II, who of course inspired Coach D to do this amazing video series. All right, time to let the cat out of the bag. Guys, the 10th key is prospecting. That's right, guys, prospecting. So for those of you who have been waiting on this video, guys, tonight is all about prospecting for success. Ultimately, prospecting to stay motivated. Why? Because we want to reach peak performance. Okay, 23% Nation. Now, I know that some of you have probably heard of the word to prospect before, right? But you didn't quite know what it meant. Well, don't fret. Coach D is here to let you in on a little definition, which happens to go like this. Prospecting means to search for potential customers, clients, leads, etc. Right? So in other words, if you are self-employed, or maybe you own your own business, or maybe you have a big business, right? Then it's very likely that you want to do some type of prospecting in order to grow your business. I mean, ultimately, no one goes into business wanting to stay small. Most people want to grow their business. Most people want to earn millions, if not billions of dollars. Well, if you're a small business owner or even a big business owner, then you probably know just how important it is to prospect. But for those of us who know nothing about it, Coach D is here to shine the light on this very important issue that'll help bring in more money and definitely keep you more motivated. Okay, so the objective of this video is to give you 7 prospecting tips that I believe can ultimately help you make you more successful and ultimately keep you motivated for peak performance. So the 7 tips are: schedule time to prospect, focus on your target market, work your call list, ask for referrals, build a social media presence, send great content, and last but not least, don't forget to follow up. Wow, I believe that's where a lot of people go wrong, but hopefully after listening to this, you'll definitely go right. All right, guys, so let's jump into tip number 1. Prospect every day. That's right, guys. Every day, 23% Nation. You gotta be consistent when it comes to prospecting. So you have to think about what works best for your schedule, right? I mean, do you want to prospect in the morning, the afternoon, or the evening? You also have to figure out how much time you want to set aside for prospecting. Is it going to be 1 hour? Is it going to be 2 hours? Is it going to be 3 hours? Or is it just going to be 30 minutes? Also, use a calendar. That's right, guys. Using a calendar can help keep you organized. So what is it going to be? Monday through Friday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday, or maybe you only have time on the weekends? Whatever the situation may be, regardless of how busy your schedule is, you definitely need to prospect every day or almost every day, and definitely set up time, a time schedule in order to do so. Tip number 2, find and focus on your target market. Now, here's the problem that a lot of people have when they're first starting out with their business, is that they assume that everyone is their customer. And unfortunately, Coach D is here to let you know that everyone is not your customer. So when we talk about your target market, here are some things that you may want to consider. Number one, who is your ideal customer? In other words, who is your target market, right? Target market, ideal customer, basically the same thing. So when narrowing down your target market or your ideal customer, you ultimately want to answer a few questions. Which sex do you want to cater to? Is it going to be men? Is it going to be women? Or a combination of both? Also, think about the age of your ideal customer. Are they going to be little babies? Are they going to be adolescents? Are they going to be teenagers? Are they going to be college students? Are they going to be the elderly? Or people that are kind of in between, people in their 30s or people in their 40s. This is just something else for you to consider. Also, think about ethnicity/race, right? So me, I'm American, but then some people will say I'm African American. So do I want to cater to only African Americans? Or perhaps if I'm Latin, do I want to cater to Latins only? Or if I'm Haitian, do I want to cater to Haitians only? Or if I'm from Europe, do I want to only cater to Europeans? Or if I'm Asian, do I only want to cater to Asians? That's something that you definitely need to figure out. Also, think about your ideal customer's income level. You may want to, adjust the price of your item based on the income level of your ideal customer. You see, if you're trying to sell a high ticket, luxurious item, but the people that are surrounding you may only make $20,000 to $30,000 a year, that's probably not the best person to target for your product and or service. So you always have to understand that people make all types of money. Some people make $10,000 a year. Some people could make $100 million a year. You just have to figure out where your product and or service fits in with the income level of your ideal customer. And also consider the likes and the dislikes that some of your customers may or may not have, right? I mean, do they like certain colors? Do they like certain types of music? Do they like certain types of people? You see? So it's always a smart idea to be in tune with whomever your target market is. Tip number 3, actively work your call list. In other words, get busy making calls. That's what it means to be active. You see, guys, when you're actively working your call list, you need to see where they are in their decision-making process, right? I mean, are they still thinking about it, or are they ready to purchase? You also need to be able to ask them if they have any questions. You know, a lot of times people delay a purchasing decision because they're confused. So use your call list as an opportunity to address any potential questions and or concerns that your customers may have. Also, consider any information that you can send them. So do you have any type of pamphlets or brochures or something else that's going to help persuade them to make the purchase? Also, invite them to your webinar and or seminar, okay? So guys, there's absolutely nothing wrong with you calling people up and saying, hey, I'm scheduling a seminar, or hey, I'm scheduling a webinar, please attend. Now, you may not get everybody, but I guarantee if you call 100 people, you may get 10 that'll actually show up. Tip number 4, ask for referrals. Now, this is an old proverb that my grandmother used to share with me, and she used to tell me that you have not because you ask not. That's right, good old Julia West. I love her to death. May she rest in peace. But that's what she used to always tell me, and I never really got it until I got older. And so I'm going to share that little bit of wisdom with you. If you want more business, you got to ask for it. Okay? It's just that simple. So now the question is, when is the best time to ask for a referral? Well, immediately after the sale. All you have to do is just say, hey, do you have any friends or family members or associates that may also be interested in my product or service? Also, Invite your customers to your events or your webinars or your seminars and let them know, hey, it's perfectly okay for you to bring a friend. That's right. Because now you got your customers becoming sales agents for you. And when they show up with their friends and their family members, that's going to be the best time to do more prospecting. Tip number 5, build your social media presence. Now, I do understand that a lot of people out there are afraid of social media. Too many people have a negative stigma when it comes to Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and Snapchat. Why? Because they hear of all the horror stories. Well, just like you can pay attention to the horror stories, you can also pay attention to the success stories. Trust me, guys, lots of money has been made through social media. So why not take advantage of it, right? So if you are in the business to business type business, then you probably want to direct your time, energy, and effort to LinkedIn. If, however, you're a business and you only want to focus on customers and clients, then you probably want to go to Facebook. It's just that simple. But what's key is that you be where your customers are, right? So if you're targeting young people, let's say high school people or college students, then you probably want to go with Snapchat or Instagram. All right. It now seems that older people are now becoming much more familiar with LinkedIn as well as Facebook. And then I guess Twitter kind of has a combination of everybody. Tip number 6, send great content. In other words, create value for your potential customers, right? So in sending your great content, this is what you want to consider. You want to show you understand where they are in the buying process. Once again, some people like to straddle the fence. Some people like to make very decisive choices. Also, know their challenges. Some people may have physical challenges. Some people may have emotional challenges. Some people may have mental challenges. So whatever their challenge may be, oh, and let's not forget financial challenges as well. So whatever their challenges are, be able to meet them where they are and offer your assistance to help them get beyond the obstacle. Very important. And also provide knowledge, ideas, and inspiration. I got to tell you guys, nothing helps people more than you being a source of motivation and or inspiration. Tip number 7, and this is probably where most people go wrong, is that they don't follow up. So tip number 7 is follow up. I can't tell you how many networking events I've gone to and I've given out my business cards left and right. And guess what? Nobody calls Coach D. That's right. Nobody follows up with me. And that's absolutely okay. Because where one man may falter, another man may succeed. So if that has ever happened to you, maybe you've gone to a card exchange, or maybe you've gone to a networking event and you've given out and received business cards, but no one calls you, no one texts you, no one emails you, no one hits you up on social media, then guess what? You do just the opposite. You take the next step. You go beyond your comfort zone. So in other words, do phone calls, send emails, send texts, send social media posts, right? And also create flyers and postcards and send those out. You got to understand something, that whenever you go to an event, people are meeting other people. And so sometimes it can be very difficult for a person to remember who you are. So that's why you got to follow up, guys. All right? There you have it. Okay, so now I want to give a few more tips. So I want to welcome you to Coach D's Tips. That's right, 23% Nation. I'm about to hook you up. But basically, I'm going to recap everything that I just said. So tip number 1, schedule time to prospect. Remember, take out your calendar, figure out which days and which times work best for you to prospect. Tip number 2, Focus on your target market. Always remember, every person that lives on planet Earth is not your customer. Consider their age, consider their sex, consider their race, and also consider their income level. Tip number 3, work your call list. In other words, pick up the phone and start making calls. Tip number 4, ask for referrals. Always remember, the best time to ask for a referral is immediately after you make a sale. Ask your new customer, hey, do you have any friends? Do you have any family members or associates that may be interested in my product and or service? Tip number 5, build a social media presence. Remember, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, Snapchat, they're all out there, so take advantage of them. Tip number 6, send great content. In other words, create value for people. Okay? And tip number 7, don't forget to follow up. That's right, guys. Call them, text them, email them, hit them up on social media. You got to let people know that, hey, I remember you and you are special to me. Question of the day, question of the day, and question of the day once again. Which prospecting tip works best for you? Okay, that's all I want to know, guys. And of course, the rest of the 23% nation, we all have inquiry minds. So let us know which prospecting tip works best for you. Guys, I want to thank you for watching. I definitely want to thank you for listening to all 11 videos of this amazing video series. 10 keys to staying motivated for peak performance, all inspired by Mr. Delatorro L. McNeal II. As always, and never forget, let's eat well, feel well, think well, do well, be well. This is your man, Coach D, signing out. Always remember, take care, I love you, and God bless.